Look, I know something is bothering you. You feel it in your chest and your mind, that constant itch that tells you your life could be different, that you should be somewhere else, achieving something bigger. You've probably found yourself scrolling through social media, checking out other people's lives and ending up feeling like you're not enough. You've looked at someone else's success and wondered, why does it never happen for me? You're not alone. I've been there too. But let me tell you what changed everything for me. Napoleon Hill wasn't born in a rich family or with some magic formula in his blood. He was a regular journalist who got the chance to interview Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie told Hill to find out what made real achievers tick. Hill accepted and spent 20 years talking to more than 500 self-made millionaires. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, and others who built empires. And what he discovered was not genius-level intelligence, not luck, not inherited wealth. It was a simple principle: they focused on themselves. While everyone else wasted time looking around, trying to compare, they kept their eyes on their own path. Here's a truth that hits hard: comparison is the #1 killer of dreams. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you're telling your brain your life isn't good enough. But every person has their own timing, their own purpose, their own way of doing things. Comparing yourself to someone else is pointless. Edison failed thousands of times trying to create the light bulb. Do you think he wasted energy comparing himself to other inventors? No. He stayed locked on his own goal, treating every failure as a step forward. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections before he became president. He didn't spend his time feeling sorry for himself or watching the politicians who were winning. He used each loss as fuel to drive him forward. The only comparison that matters is you today versus you yesterday. Did you learn something new? Did you grow in any way? If yes, you're on the right track. When you stop wasting mental energy comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own journey, something inside you turns on. Your mind stops burning energy on meaningless distractions and puts it all into what truly matters. You know the difference between feeling focused on your goals and losing hours stalking someone else's life online. It's a different energy entirely. Focus gives you clarity. Distraction leads to chaos. I'm not telling you to ignore the world. There's a line between drawing inspiration from others and comparing yourself to them. Inspiration fuels you. Comparison destroys you. You already have everything you need inside you to build the life you want. But as long as you keep spending your mental energy on other people's achievements, that potential stays asleep. The people who really make things happen don't waste time watching everyone else. They stay too busy building their own lives. That's what separates achievers from dreamers. Think about it. The people who post about success all the time on social media are often the ones who have the least of it. The ones who are truly busy making things happen are too focused on their work to update their followers every hour. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It's survival. It's the only way you'll get out of your current situation and create something worthwhile. Now that you understand why comparison must end, let me tell you something else that will change your mind. Most people go through life never taking control of their own thoughts. They wake up and let every random thought drive them: worries, comparisons, fears. Their mind is like a radio picking up every station that comes in. But the people who succeed have learned a key lesson: your mind is powerful and must be cared for. If you allow random thoughts to run wild, you'll end up focusing on doubts and fears and things that hold you back. Napoleon Hill pointed out that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It simply takes your strongest thoughts and turns them into reality. That is why some people live miserable lives, because they feed their minds garbage every day. Think about people who always complain, "My life is hard, nothing works out for me, the world is against me." They program their minds to see only problems, and so that is exactly what they get. Now think about people you admire, those who achieve real success. They have one thing in common: they control what they think. They don't allow negative thoughts to dominate. Thomas Edison, for example, failed thousands of times, but he didn't let doubt take over. He kept his mind focused on his goal. Even when everyone around him said he was crazy, he stayed on track. He didn't waste energy on what others thought of him. He knew that real power comes from within, his own ideas and vision. This is not self-help fluff, it's real science. Your mind shapes your reality, but most people let this power work against them. How many times a day do you stop and check what you're thinking? Most people are on mental autopilot. They wake up and immediately replay the same worries and fears and problems as yesterday. There's a difference between having a thought and being controlled by it. When you take control of your mind, you choose what to focus on. You decide which thoughts get fed and which get cut off. Lincoln understood this. He lost his mother at a young age, went broke in business, lost elections. But he never let those experiences take control of his mind. He used every setback as a lesson, as motivation to grow stronger. Here's the secret, simple but powerful: you must become the CEO of your own mind. You decide which thoughts get airtime and which get axed. When you take charge, you stop being a prisoner of external circumstances. No matter what happens around you, you keep your focus on what truly matters. And here's something most people don't know: controlling your thoughts is like exercising a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you get. At first it may feel tough, but with practice it becomes natural. The difference between those who succeed and those who only dream is mental control. Winners direct every ounce of mental energy toward their goals. Losers let their minds wander, worrying about everything under the sun. So I ask you, do you want to remain a slave to random thoughts, or do you want to command your own mind? That choice will shape the rest of your life. If this content resonates, hit the like button. That small click helps me keep bringing this kind of message to you. Once you understand that you can control your mind, you gain a power most people never realize exists. You become the designer of your own reality. And this isn't theory, it's practice. Every day you have countless chances to strengthen this control. Each time a negative thought pops up, you choose to replace it with a thought that moves you forward. Every time you catch your mind zeroing in on what's wrong, you shift it to what you want to happen. With time, your mind starts to naturally seek opportunities instead of problems. And then your life changes in ways you never thought possible, because whoever masters their thoughts masters their reality. Next, let's talk about action, the gap between wishing and doing. You can have the most positive thoughts in the world, you can believe in yourself like never before, but if you don't act, nothing changes. And action is where most people freeze. They overplan, waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions. But the perfect moment never shows up. Let me share what changed my life. Imperfect action is infinitely better than perfect inaction. It's better to do something and fail than to do nothing flawlessly. Edison did not spend years planning before he tried to invent the light bulb. He grabbed materials, went to the lab, and began testing. He failed, adjusted, tested again. He failed, adjusted, tested again. That is exactly how he succeeded. Today, too many people want guarantees before taking a single step. They need proof it will work before they even try. But life has never worked that way. Did Lincoln know he would become president when he entered politics? No. He took blow after blow. But he kept acting, kept trying. And every setback taught him something new. This is what people fail to grasp. Action is not just about results. Action is about learning, growing, becoming the person who can achieve your goal. If you want to start a business, you take action. Maybe you start small, test with a few clients, learn in real time. That teaches you far more than 2 years of planning ever could. But fear of judgment paralyzes many. What if I try and fail? What if people laugh at me? Every successful person has been judged and criticized. The difference is they acted anyway. They knew other people's opinions don't pay their bills, don't build their dreams, don't create their lives. Steve Jobs was called crazy for wanting a computer on every desk. People said it was delusional. But he kept moving forward. Amelia Earhart was criticized for wanting to fly when women weren't allowed to drive. She refused to let that stop her. And here's the irony. The same people who laugh at you when you try are the first to praise you when you succeed. That's how it always goes. So focusing on yourself is critical. When you fixate on others, you freeze yourself with comparison. They're better than me. They have more experience. But if you concentrate on your own path, you remember that everyone starts at zero. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a novice. The difference between those who make it and those who stay stuck is simple. The ones who make it take action even when they feel unprepared. Now let's discuss the silent killer of dreams, procrastination. Every time you delay an important task, you strengthen the habit of delay. And the stronger that habit gets, the harder it is to do anything meaningful. But the opposite is also true. Each time you act despite not feeling like it, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. And discipline is the foundation of every achievement. The secret is not to wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline, the ability to act when you don't feel like it, is constant. And here's something the world doesn't teach you. When you take action, your confidence grows. Each small step you take, each minor win you achieve, builds your belief in yourself. It becomes a virtuous cycle. Action leads to results, results build confidence, confidence fuels more action, and so on. But you must start. You must break inertia. You must move, even if it's slow or uncertain, because movement creates momentum. And momentum is a force you cannot ignore. A body at rest remains at rest. A body in motion stays in motion. That law of physics applies to your life. So stop waiting for Monday or the first of the month or next year. Start now. Start today. Start small, but start. The difference between dreaming and doing is one word: action. Action is a choice you make every moment, every day of your life. Now, let's talk about building unshakable self-confidence, because in the end, that is the foundation. Real self-confidence doesn't come from external praise or easy successes. It comes from your ability to stand up every time you fall, to try again every time you fail, to keep believing when everyone doubts you. Many people confuse self-esteem with self-confidence. Self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. Self-confidence is your belief in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. They are not the same. Take Amelia Earhart. She didn't wake up one day feeling fearless about flying. She built that confidence flight by flight, overcoming fear after fear. Each time she flew despite her fear, she added to her account of self-confidence. Each successful landing proved to her that she was capable. And that is how self-confidence is built, through action, not theory. You don't build confidence by reading about confidence. You build it by doing things that require confidence. Why do most people lack real self-confidence? Because they avoid discomfort. They run from challenges. They always pick the easy path and never prove to themselves what they are capable of. It's like expecting to build muscle without ever lifting weights. It won't happen. Let me share my own story. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Just the thought made my heart race. Then I had a choice, keep avoiding or face it head on. I chose to face it. I started small, speaking in work meetings, then to larger groups, then informal presentations. Each time I did it, even when I was scared, I proved to myself I could handle it. Today, public speaking doesn't scare me. Not because the fear disappeared completely, but because I built the confidence to deal with it. That is exactly how Lincoln and Edison did it. Lincoln didn't wake up confident to lead a nation. He built that confidence losing elections, making tough decisions, facing crises. Each hard experience was a brick in the foundation of his self-confidence. Edison wasn't born confident about inventing. He built that confidence through thousands of failures and learning from each one. And here's what's vital to grasp: real self-confidence is not about never feeling fear. It's about acting despite fear. It's not about never failing. It's about not letting failure keep you down. The most confident people I know are not those who never failed. They are those who failed the most but kept trying. Because they know from experience they will recover from any fall. That knowledge is freeing. When you know you can handle failure, you no longer fear trying. When you know you can handle any setback, you no longer fear risk. And then you gain a freedom most people never experience, the freedom to chase your dreams without fear of what might go wrong. But remember, real self-confidence is not arrogance. An arrogant person needs to put others down to feel big. A truly confident person doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. When you have genuine self-confidence, you don't waste time trying to impress people. You don't need external approval to feel good about yourself. You know your worth, regardless of what others think. And that brings us back to the core of everything we've discussed: focus on yourself. Self-confidence is an internal project. It's about proving to yourself, day after day, that you can trust your ability to handle life. Here are practical steps to build that self-confidence. First, make small commitments to yourself and keep them without fail. I will wake up at 6 a.m. I will read for 15 minutes a day. I will exercise 3 times a week. Each promise you keep to yourself is a deposit in your self-confidence account. Second, stop avoiding discomfort. If you fear something you need to do it anyway. Fear decreases when you face it and grows when you avoid it. Third, celebrate small victories. People only celebrate big successes and ignore the small wins that build those big successes. Acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small. Fourth, stop sabotaging yourself with negative thoughts. Every time you think, I can't do this, I don't deserve it, I'm not capable, you are undermining your own confidence. Cut those thoughts off at the root. Finally, understand that self-confidence is a journey, not a destination. You will not wake up one day fully confident without a single doubt. It's a muscle that needs constant exercise. But when you accept that, when you take responsibility for building your own confidence instead of waiting for it to fall from the sky, you gain a power no one can take away. Because then you don't need external circumstances to feel capable. You don't need everything to go your way to believe in yourself. You know you have everything inside you to handle any challenge. And when you reach that level of self-confidence, when you truly focus on yourself and build that solid foundation, you become almost unstoppable. You no longer fear trying, you no longer fear failing, you no longer fear judgment. You simply act with the certainty that, no matter what happens, you will find a way to handle it. And that certainty is what turns dreams into reality. If you've listened this far and this message resonates with you, drop a comment saying, "I focus on me," and subscribe to the channel, because there's much more content like this coming your way. Let's go together on this journey of personal transformation.